I never imagined that a simple social experiment would turn into the most shocking scene I've ever recorded in all these years. "Please, it's only 9:40 that I'm short. My children haven't eaten since yesterday," begged the woman in tears, while the store owner snatched the products from her hands with frightening coldness. "Do you think I look like a charity organization? Return everything or I'll call the police right now." People around lowered their heads, pretending not to see that public humiliation. A small child cried, clinging to the mother's legs, not understanding why they couldn't take food home. That's when I realized my test had gone too far. That moment would forever change not only the life of that desperate family, but all of us present. What happened in the next few minutes was so surprising that to this day, I receive messages from people who personally witnessed that scene. The hidden cameras captured everything, from the moment of humiliation to the instant when the store owner fell to her knees crying when she discovered who I really was. This may be the most impactful story you'll see this year, and the ending will make you question everything you thought you knew about the value of money, compassion, and true human wealth. Don't look away for even a second, because what follows forever changed the fate of an entire community. It was one of the most distressing scenes I've ever witnessed in all these years in front of the cameras. A desperate mother, with just a few crumpled bills in her hand, begging to take the bare minimum needed to feed her children. The shopping cart already half empty, she removed item by item, while the store owner, a cold-looking woman, watched her with contempt. "I can't do anything if you don't have enough money. Return everything or pay what you owe." Tears were streaming down that woman's face when something unexpected happened, something that completely changed the course of that public humiliation. Stay until the end, because what happened next will make you rethink everything you know about true wealth in this world. Before we continue with this story that will touch your heart and make you reflect on essential values, I want to invite you to get your copy of the ebook, The Secret of the Rich, 7 Steps to Financial Abundance, right now. This special guide is available in the first pinned comment or in the description of this video, a material that can transform your life, teaching you to evolve spiritually and achieve your physical, mental, and financial goals. Don't miss this opportunity. And if you've made it this far and are not yet part of our community, you're missing out on valuable content. Click the subscribe button right now, activate the notification bell, and join thousands of people who are changing their lives with the stories and lessons from Mr. Millionaire. Your like is also essential so that more people can discover this transformative content. For those watching for the first time, I need to explain who Mr. Millionaire is. Some call me the Batman of financial justice, others the money vigilante. I am a businessman who, after accumulating considerable fortune, realized that money alone does not bring true happiness. I then decided to use my resources to make a difference in people's lives and, mainly, to test the character of those who are in positions of power or influence. My motto, which I carry in every mission, is, "True wealth is in who you are when no one is watching." This story began on a Wednesday afternoon in a lower middle-class neighborhood. Our team had received a complaint about a small local market where the owner treated customers who couldn't afford to pay for their full purchases with contempt. We decided to investigate. We set up hidden cameras and prepared a situation to test how the store owner would react. We hired an actress to play a mother in financial difficulties with a basic script. She should fill a cart with essential items and, when paying, discover that she didn't have enough money. But what happened next exceeded all our expectations and scripts. Our actress, Marcia, entered the Sempre Bem market around 3 p.m. Following our instructions, she filled the cart with basic items: rice, beans, oil, some vegetables, milk, bread, and personal hygiene products. Nothing luxurious, just the essentials for a small family. When she reached the checkout, the store owner, Dona Elisa, a lady of approximately 60 years old, began scanning the products. The value went up and up, $25.40. Marcia then, playing her role, showed surprise and embarrassment. "I only have $16. I thought it would be enough," she said with a trembling voice. Donna Elisa's reaction was immediate and cutting. "Then you'll have to return some things. I don't do charity here." Marcia, following the plan, began selecting what she could leave behind. "Can I just take the basics? My children need to eat." It was at this moment that we realized we were no longer witnessing a simple act. The cruelty in Donna Elisa's voice was too real. "It's your problem if you have children and don't have money to support them. Every day it's the same story with you people. You come here, take things, and then don't have the money to pay. Do you think I'm a bank?" Marcia's eyes filled with real tears. It was no longer acting. The public humiliation made other customers in the market start to look, some embarrassed, others curious about the situation. An elderly man in line behind tried to intervene. "Donna Elisa, have a little compassion. Everyone goes through difficulties." "If you have so much compassion, pay her bill then," replied the owner with a sarcastic laugh. It was at this moment that I decided it was time for Mr. Millionaire to take action. I could no longer watch that scene. I got out of the car where we were monitoring everything, adjusted my impeccable suit, and entered the market. The cameras captured the exact moment I walked through the door and headed to the checkout where the scene was unfolding. "Good morning, everyone. May I know what's happening here?" I asked with a firm voice. Donna Elisa looked me up and down. My suit, my watch, and my posture certainly indicated that I wasn't a regular customer of that market. "Nothing that's any of your business, sir. I'm just explaining to the lady that a market is not a charity institution," she replied, trying to maintain her authoritative posture. "I understand. What's the total amount of her purchase?" I asked. $25.49, replied the cashier, a young woman who seemed uncomfortable with the whole situation. I never imagined that a simple social experiment would turn into the most shocking scene I've ever recorded in all these years. "Please, it's only $9.40 that I'm short. My children haven't eaten since yesterday," begged the woman in tears, while the store owner snatched the products from her hands with frightening coldness. "Do you think I look like a charity organization? Return everything or I'll call the police right now." People around lowered their heads, pretending not to see that public humiliation. A small child cried, clinging to the mother's legs, not understanding why they couldn't take food home. That's when I realized my test had gone too far. That moment would forever change not only the life of that desperate family, but all of us present. What happened in the next few minutes was so surprising that, to this day, I receive messages from people who personally witnessed that scene. The hidden cameras captured everything, from the moment of humiliation to the instant when the store owner fell to her knees crying when she discovered who I really was. This may be the most impactful story you'll see this year, and the ending will make you question everything you thought you knew about the value of money, compassion, and true human wealth. Don't look away for even a second, because what follows forever changed the fate of an entire community. It was one of the most distressing scenes I've ever witnessed in all these years in front of the cameras. A desperate mother, with just a few crumpled bills in her hand, begging to take the bare minimum needed to feed her children. The shopping cart already half empty, she removed item by item, while the store owner, a cold-looking woman, watched her with contempt. "I can't do anything if you don't have enough money. Return everything or pay what you owe." Tears were streaming down that woman's face when something unexpected happened, something that completely changed the course of that public humiliation. Stay until the end, because what happened next will make you rethink everything you know about true wealth in this world. I took 3 $20 bills from my pocket and placed them on the counter. "This should cover it, and I'd like to pay for the next 5 people in line as well." Donna Elisa's face completely changed. Suddenly, her tone became friendly, almost subservient. "Oh, of course, sir. What generosity. Can I help you with anything else?" It was at this moment that I revealed my identity. "Actually, you can. My name is Mr. Millionaire. Perhaps you've heard of me. I conduct social experiments to reveal people's true character, especially those in positions of power over the more vulnerable. Silence took over the market. People around began to recognize me. Some took out their phones to record the moment. What just happened here was a test, and unfortunately, you failed miserably. You treated a person in apparent need with cruelty and contempt, but completely changed your behavior when you realized there was money involved. As you absorb this moment of revelation and reflection, I want to remind you that in the description of this video, or in the first pinned comment, you will find your access to the ebook The Secret of the Rich: 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. This is not just a guide about money, but about how to develop a prosperous mindset in all areas of your life. A true journey of transformation that goes beyond the financial, reaching the spiritual and emotional. Are you enjoying this content that mixes reality, life lessons, and social justice? Then don't forget to leave your like, share with friends, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Each subscription motivates us to continue bringing these inspiring stories to you. Activate the bell to be notified whenever we publish new videos. Donna Elisa's face was pale. She tried to justify herself. "Sir, you don't understand. We have many losses, people who don't pay. That's not the issue, Donna Elisa. The issue is how we treat others when they are vulnerable. True wealth is not in your cash register, but in your heart. And today, unfortunately, I noticed that there is great poverty in there." I turned to Marcia, who was still emotional about the whole situation. "Let's get out of here. There's another market across the street, isn't there?" Marcia nodded, still surprised by how events had unfolded. "Perfect. Leave these purchases right here. We're going to do something different." We left the market, followed by several curious people and our film crew, who now revealed the cameras. We crossed the street toward Family Market, a competing establishment, smaller, but famous for treating customers well. Upon entering, we were greeted by Mr. Jorge, a gentleman of about 70 years old, the owner of the place along with his wife, Donna Ana. "Good afternoon. How can I help you? And why so many people?" he asked, confused by the movement. "Mr. Jorge, my name is Mr. Millionaire, and we are conducting a social experiment in the region. I'd like to make a proposal. I'm going to give this lady the opportunity to do all the shopping her family needs, with no limit on value. And more than that, I want her to be able to bring in 5 other needy families to do the same." Mr. Jorge's face lit up. "Of course, it will be an honor to help." And that's how one of the most memorable afternoons of our series began. Marcia, who was actually not just an actress but a single mother who was really going through difficulties, something we discovered during the selection interviews, had the opportunity to fill not one but several carts with products she normally couldn't afford. She called 2 friends who were in similar situations, and they couldn't believe it when they received the news. They came running with their children, and the scene of joy of the children choosing items that would normally be prohibited by the tight budget was heartwarming. Mr. Jorge and Donna Ana not only served everyone with respect and care, but also suggested quality products and offered additional discounts, even knowing that I would pay the full amount. In the end, the total purchase came to an impressive $1,150, much more than the $600 we had initially planned. But as I always say, when we find people with good hearts, generosity has no limits. While the families carried their purchases, assisted by our team and the market staff, I had a sincere conversation with Mr. Jorge. "You didn't hesitate to help, even before knowing who I was or what I was doing. Why?" Mr. Jorge smiled, with that wisdom that only years provide. "My young man, I grew up in poverty. I know what it's like to go to sleep hungry. When God blessed us with this small business, I promised myself that no one would leave here needing something essential and unable to pay. We make our agreements. We offer installment plans. We exchange for services. There's always a way to help without humiliating." These words touched me deeply. It was exactly the essence of what I tried to teach with my actions. Mr. Jorge's wisdom reminds us that the true principles of abundance go far beyond the accumulation of money. If you want to discover more about how to develop this prosperous and generous mindset, be sure to get your copy of the ebook, The Secret of the Rich: 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. Available right now in the first pinned comment or in the description of this video. Exclusive material that will transform your relationship with money and with the people around you. And if this story is touching your heart, imagine how much more you can learn and be inspired by our other content. Click now on the subscribe button, activate the notification bell, and be part of this community that is changing lives and spreading positive values. Your like and sharing are also ways to help our message reach more people. At the end of that day, we returned to the first market. Donna Elisa was at the door, visibly shaken seeing the movement and joy at the competing establishment. I approached her, now without cameras, with just a simple message. "Did you see what happened today? That market wasn't bigger or prettier than yours. It didn't have different products or better prices. The only difference was the heart of those who served. And that's what determined where the money went. Think about that." I left her with an envelope containing $1,000 and a note. To help truly needy people who come to your establishment, it's not too late to change. I don't know if Donna Elisa changed after that day. We didn't return to that neighborhood to check, but I know that the families we helped had at least a few weeks of relief in their daily struggles, and that Mr. Jorge and Donna Anna received the recognition they deserved for years of honest and humanized work. And for you who watched until here, I leave the reflection that guides all my actions. True wealth is in who you are when no one is watching. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your account, how many cars in your garage, or how many zeros in your assets. What defines your value as a human being are your actions when no one is looking, when there are no cameras or recognition. This is Mr. Millionaire, reminding you that we can all make a difference, each in our own way. You don't need to have millions to share what you have. Sometimes a gesture of kindness is worth more than all the money in the world. 3 weeks have passed since that day at the supermarket. 3 weeks that made me reflect deeply on the meaning of true wealth in our lives. I want to share with you some reflections that arose from this transformative experience, not only for me, but for everyone involved. When I began my journey as Mr. Millionaire, many thought I was just another rich person showing off his money on the internet. But I always knew my mission went far beyond that. Money is just a tool, a means to reveal something much more valuable: human character. In the situation we witnessed at that market, we clearly saw 2 sides of the same coin. On one side, Donna Elisa, stuck in a scarcity mindset, believing she needed to protect her business at all costs, even if it meant ignoring the suffering of others. On the other side, Mr. Jorge and Donna Anna, who even with a smaller establishment and possibly facing the same financial challenges, chose to lead with compassion. What deeply touches me is that this story is not unique. Every day, in every corner of this country, people are treated with dignity or with contempt based solely on their apparent financial condition. And that's exactly what I try to change with my actions. I received hundreds of messages after this episode began circulating on social media. Messages from people who identified with Marcia, who have gone through the humiliation of having to return products at the checkout. Messages from small business owners who, inspired by Mr. Jorge, decided to create community credit programs in their establishments. And, surprisingly, even a message from Donna Elisa herself. Yes, Donna Elisa wrote to me a week later. She told me that, after that day, she couldn't sleep peacefully anymore. This is the true magic of generosity. It's contagious. When one person takes the first step, others feel inspired to follow the example. And what about Marcia and her friends? They not only had their pantries stocked, but they also received something even more valuable: dignity. After our episode, 3 local businessmen contacted us offering job opportunities for them. Today, Marcia works as an administrative assistant in a medical clinic with flexible hours that allow her to take care of her children. True transformation doesn't just happen when we give money to someone in need. It happens when we create conditions for people to regain their self-esteem and autonomy. Money can run out, but dignity remains. And this leads me to a deeper reflection on what it really means to be rich. I've met many millionaires and billionaires in my life. Some of the richest men and women in the world have shared a table with me, and I can state with absolute certainty that a bank account has never been an accurate indicator of happiness or fulfillment. I've seen people with incalculable fortunes living in emotional prisons, unable to trust anyone around them, always suspecting that the interest was only in their money. I've seen others who, even with limited resources, are able to transform every penny into a seed of hope. True wealth lies in the ability to see beyond appearances, to recognize the intrinsic value of each human being, regardless of their financial condition. It lies in the courage to extend a hand when everyone else turns their face away. It lies in the wisdom to understand that no one is immune to life's difficulties. I remember something my grandfather always said: "Money makes noise, but kindness echoes eternally." This phrase has been my moral compass all these years, because the truth is that money can buy comfort, can open doors, can solve practical problems, but it cannot buy peace of mind. It cannot buy genuine respect. It cannot buy that indescribable feeling of knowing that you made a positive difference in someone's life. I could easily live secluded in a mansion, enjoying all the luxuries that money can provide, but what kind of life would that be? What would be the purpose of my existence? What legacy would I leave? All of us, regardless of our financial situation, have something valuable to offer the world. Sometimes it's money, yes. Other times it's time, attention, advice, a hug, or simply respect for the dignity of others. And if there's something I've learned from every social experiment I conduct, it's that people are surprising. Even in the most unlikely scenarios, human kindness finds ways to manifest itself. Even in apparently hardened hearts, like Dona Lisa's, there's always the possibility of transformation. That's why I continue to believe in people. That's why I continue to invest my time, my energy, and, yes, my money, to create these small revolutions of consciousness. Because each person who changes their perspective, who begins to see others with more compassion, becomes an agent of change in their own community. Before concluding this reflection, I want to invite you who are watching to do a simple exercise. Think about how you would react if you were in Dona Elisa's place, or Mr. Jorge's, or even Marcia's. Be honest with yourself. Recognize your limitations, your prejudices, your fears. And then ask yourself, who do I really want to be? What kind of world do I want to help build? Because in the end, true wealth is in who you are when no one is watching. It's in the small choices we make daily, in the moments when no one is applauding, no one is filming, no one is recognizing. And if you truly desire to transform your relationship with money and people, don't miss getting your copy of the ebook, The Secret of the Rich: 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. Available right now in the first pinned comment or in the description of this video. This is not just a financial guide, but a path to discovering true prosperity in all dimensions of your life. This world can be a harsh, merciless place where material values often overshadow human values. But people like you and me can change that. One action at a time. One choice at a time. One heart at a time. If this message touched you in some way, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message today. Together, we are stronger. Together, we can create a world where generosity is not the exception, but the rule. And always remember, true wealth is in who you are when no one is watching. This is Mr. Millionaire, wishing that you find not only financial prosperity, but the true abundance that comes from a generous heart. Until our next meeting. Before we say goodbye, don't miss the opportunity to transform your mindset and your financial life with the ebook, The Secret of the Rich: 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. Get your copy right now through the link in the description or in the first pinned comment. This special guide contains knowledge that I apply in my own life and that I now share with you, so that you too can achieve true prosperity in all areas. This was another episode of Transformation and Reflection from the MR Millionaire channel. If you liked it, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications so you don't miss any of our stories. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Together we can build a world where true wealth is valued above all. Until the next social experiment, peace and prosperity to all of you.